What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Paddock, and today we are going to talk about overtones. Let's start off with what an overtone is. The easiest way to think about an overtone is that they are notes inside of other notes. In other words, you finger a note, and out of that note, by changing your embouchure, your airstream, and your tongue position, you can get other notes. So the note that we're going to start off with is known as the fundamental pitch. So you'll hear me say fundamental all the time in this video. And in this video, we're going to work on the 4 lowest fundamental pitches, which will be B flat, B, C, and C sharp. So we'll finger those notes and figure out how to get other overtone notes out of those fundamental pitches. Just as a little side note, I'm asked on a regular basis if I give Skype lessons, and I do. So if you're interested, look at the info section of this video, and it has my Instagram and my website. Send me a message through there, and I'll tell you all about how Skype lessons work with me. Okay, so let's get started. The first fundamental pitch that we're going to use is your low B flat. So let's just play a low B flat. Now, to get that out really clean, make sure that you have your tongue down low in the ah position. So you're saying ah, and that note pops right out. So we are going to use that note, the low B flat, and we're not going to change our fingering, but we're going to play B flat an octave higher just by changing our tongue position. So our fundamental note is this B flat, your low B flat, and we are going to sound this B flat, which is a B flat octave higher, just by changing our airstream. I'm going to refer to the B flat that is the octave up as either the regular B flat, the middle B flat, or I might even call it the bis B flat because I'm using my bis B flat fingering. So we have our low B flat and our middle B flat, bis B flat, or regular B flat. So you'll know what I'm talking about. So the very first thing we're going to do to start with our overtone series is finger your regular B flat using your bis B flat fingering. So it'll be like this. Now, you want to play that B flat and then switch to your low B flat fingering and get the same note to come out. So that's your first overtone. You're fingering that low B flat and you're getting the B flat an octave higher to come out. Now, if that note is not coming out or it's all raspy and it doesn't sound good or clear, that's because your embouchure is not in the right position. So when we are doing overtones, everything has to be correct. That's why overtones are so great. It teaches and forces your embouchure, your tongue position, your airstream, and all that stuff to be absolutely perfect. Because if it's not, it won't work. You won't get the sounds. So if you're looking for a really great way to improve your tone and get a bigger, fatter, fuller sound, overtones are the way to do it. Okay, so let's talk about what we need to do to get this overtone to come out. So first, when you're playing overtones, you want the corners of your mouth, of your embouchure, to be way tighter. So you want to really squeeze in on that mouthpiece. Normally we're going to be a little bit more relaxed. It'll be firm, but it'll be more relaxed. When you're playing overtones, you want it to be pretty tight and like really grabbing onto the sides of that mouthpiece. Now the second thing is your tongue position has to be correct. So when we're playing a low B flat, our tongue is in the ah position. When we're playing that B flat an octave higher, it's in the A position. So if you say ah, A, you can feel your tongue moving from a low position to a middle position. That's what gets that overtone out. So when you're playing that middle B flat with your overtone fingering, make sure your tongue is in an A position and your corners are in nice and tight. And that's the way we start off our overtones, just by playing the regular note and then going into the overtone note and switching it back and forth. Doing it really slow and really deliberate. And then once you get it down a little bit better, you can go a little faster. But we care a lot more about that overtone note coming out correctly than we do about how fast we play it. Now, once you've done it on a B flat, you do the exact same thing using a B. So we're going to finger a B, our regular B, and then we're going to finger our low B, and that is going to give us our overtone. Again, you want to make sure that your corners are in tight and that your tongue is up high, And you might also want to take in just a little bit more mouthpiece than you normally would. If you have a little more reed vibrating, it's going to make it a little bit easier for the notes to come out. So let's play our B flat, our regular B flat, into our overtone B flat a couple times, and then switch to our regular B into our overtone B a couple times. And obviously next, we're going to do it on a C. So we're going to finger our regular C, and then finger a low C, which is going to give us our overtone C. And then the last one that we'll do is, for this overtone, is going to be a C sharp. So we finger our C sharp, and then, or we finger our C sharp, which is totally open, and then we finger it with our low C sharp and get the overtone. Now let's do all four notes together. So we're going to go B flat to the B flat overtone, B to the B overtone, C to the C overtone, and C sharp to the C sharp overtone. Now that should be the first thing that you practice, and you should practice this for several days, if not a week, to get it down really, really clean. You cannot go on from here until you're getting these overtones really clean, just switching them back and forth. But once you do, then the next step is to play the low B flat, and then just using your tongue and your embouchure, sound the B flat, the overtone B flat, without going from the bis B flat. So you just play the low B flat, and then change your tongue position and get the middle B flat. So I'm gonna stand up so you can see my fingers better, but this is what it should sound like. Notice that no fingers are moving. I'm just doing it all with my tongue. I'm going ta, ta. I can't sing at all, but I'm moving my tongue from the low position to the middle position. So watch one more time. And those are overtones. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing with a B. We finger our low B, and then we sound the overtone B just by moving our tongue up into the A position, or into the A position. Moving your tongue up into the A position. Now when I'm doing that, I can feel my tongue way down here, and then it moves way closer to the reed. It's like going up. Your tip obviously stays below that little nook below your teeth, but the back of your tongue moves up into that A position. Same thing on a C. Now a C sharp. Now, again, keep those corners really tight. Keep your embouchure really, really firm. Now, once you've got that, you're ready to move on to the next overtone. But before you do, make sure that you can play using the alternate fingering, using the regular fingering into the overtone fingering, and then doing it all with just the overtone fingering. Once you've got that, we're ready to move on to the next overtone. Now we're going to do the exact same thing for every overtone that we do, but obviously the note that comes out is going to be different. So for the next one, we are going to get an F with your octave key. So that is a octave and a fifth above your fundamental. Your fundamental in this case is going to be your low B flat, and the note we're going to get is this F. So we start fingering our regular. So we start off by fingering the regular F, and then switch to your low B flat. Now your tongue is going to have to be up even higher in your mouth in the A position to get that F to come out. So the next one is your F sharp with your B fingering. Then your G with your C fingering. And then finally your G sharp with your C sharp fingering. And when you do that, finger your G sharp by fingering a C sharp, because that pushes down this key anyway, and this is going to make your life way easier. So finger your G sharp using the C sharp. So again, just like with the other overtone, practice this for several days before you move on to the next step. You need to get it down really, really, really good. So from there, we're going to jump from the low B flat, the fundamental, up to the F, which is the fifth, the octave and a fifth higher. So it'll sound like this, using your overtone, your fundamental overtone fingering. So it'll be your low B flat. You're just going to use your tongue and your embouchure to switch the pitch. Now, you might get the B flat in the middle. Like you might have to work your way through it, but what you just heard was it going slightly up, and that's because I raised my tongue. The more I raise my tongue, the higher the note becomes. So B flat to F using the low B flat fingering. Same thing, B to F sharp using the low B fingering. Then C to G using the low C fingering. Now for me, that note always has a little bit of rasp on it, so I have to really fight it. So that just means I have to firm up my embouchure, tighten everything up. G sharp with your C sharp. So you're going to play your C sharp as the fundamental, and then jump to the G sharp. And that is your second series of overtones. So the first thing you want to be able to do is switch it back and forth. And then be able to do the overtone jumps. And then once you get that again should take you a good week, maybe 2 weeks to work on it and get it really, really clean and really firm, then or really consistent. Then you want to do all three of the notes that we've learned. So we want to play the fundamental, then the octave up overtone, and then the fifth up from there overtone. So you're going to have 3 notes that you play, all using the same fingering. So for the first one, we're going to use our B flat. We're going to play low B flat, middle B flat, and then high F, all using our low B flat fingering. And then the next one, B, B, and F sharp. Then C, C, and G. C sharp, and G sharp. And then once you've got that one, then you want to try to go up and down. So we're going to play B flat, F, B flat, low B flat. All using your low B flat fingering. Again. Then do it on your B. Now, you might get some crazy sounds in there. It's totally natural. I just got one. So just adjust your tongue. Keep fighting with it until you get your tongue in the right position and that note will pop out. Here's the B again. And then C. And then, of course, C sharp. So that's your intro to overtones. Like I said, this is not a video that you should put on and be able to play everything the first time that you're working on the video, the first time you're watching the video. This should be something that you keep coming back to. Hopefully this gets you started with overtones and you will notice a really big improvement in just your overall tone in general. Thanks for taking the time to check out this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. If you have questions about anything, please leave me a comment below. Thanks a lot.